I'll be your guide today with today's driver, Eric. We also have a co-host who will take the studio tour. You may recognize it from the shows That's My Jam or The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guides and the greatest driver. They're the best. I love them. Even though it's supposed to be $5. What? I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules. First and foremost, if you're in need of assistance of any kind, whether it's a medical emergency, if you drop something in valley outside the vehicle, or if you're having any video or audio issues, you want to reach up and grab the little red cord that runs down the center of the ceiling of the car. That's the emergency cord. If you pull on that, we will stop and I'll be back to help you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, for the remainder of the tour, please remain seated or up to legs inside the vehicle. I do know reminder, there's absolutely no smoking whatsoever on the tram, but you want to have your cameras ready. Just be aware there will be sudden tram movements, loud sounds, fire vents, and water vents as a part of the tour. Make sure your cameras stay dry and safe. Also, for your safety, the safety goes around you. Please do not use selfie sticks while on board. Or make sure no one gets selfie sticks in the face. Good to have you all here. I'll go right down to the studio. Notice these movie posters on our movie studio timeline. These are a small fraction of the over 8,000 movies that we've made here since 1914. That's a lot of movies. And none of these would have happened if it weren't for one band, the founder of Universal Pictures, Carl Lumley. You know, Uncle Carl, as we call him, the gentleman there in the boat track, is great. The United States in the 1880s, founded Universal Pictures on the East Coast in 1912, and a few years later moved out west and founded Universal City on March 15, 1950. So we're still around the city. We have our own zip code, 91608, our own post office, our own honorary mayor, and Jared. We also have a fire station to the right. Oh, the doors are open. Cool. Let's wave at a firefighter or two. Hi. I love you. That's all I want. He's walking out. He's waving at us. Hi, I love you. Okay, bye. We also have a sheriff's station at one city walk. We have medical facilities, daycare facilities. We have a gym right up there too. We have 3 Starbucks and coffee for Chinese people in our town. But we are missing something that your town has. Residents. No one lives here. Rather than having residents, we have thousands and thousands of TV television professionals that come to work with us every single day. Most of those people work here in the front line. This is where the headquarters for Universal Pictures is located. It's also where the majority of our sound stages are. Now, sound stages bring us giant warehouses we build our movie sets inside. The largest on the lot happens to be the first one that we see on the tour. Take a look on the left. Sound stage small. Nearly 30,000 square feet of space we've been using for nearly 100 years. Some pretty famous movie sets we built there. Things like Frankenstein's Lab back in 1931. Dracula's Castle built in the same building. Where the Major and Scarface was, the Clock Tower back in the future, the Visitor Center at Jurassic Park, the town of Whoville, How to Drinks for Christmas, and next year's these movies like Colonial Street. Just name a few, all inside of the city and sound city. That's because these buildings are massive open-air spaces, allowing the filmmakers to build whatever type of set they can imagine, upwards of 4 stories tall on some of these stages. And the walls of these sound stages are 4 times as thick as the walls in our homes. That's allowing us to block out about 98% of the sound. Which is why we choose to film it here, because you're not going to hear anything outside, because you only want to hear your actor. That's going to make things a lot easier. You don't have to keep on recording everything because you hear an annoying tour guide drive by every 5 seconds. Now, inside the sound stages that we just passed, and the big one around the corner, they're working on a Bel Air, or a Peacock television show called Bel Air. Bel Air is a dramatic reinterpretation of the Fresh Prince starring Martin and Ollie Charlton. And the Peacock is our streaming service. We can see the first 2 seasons and catch up before season 3 comes out. Now, that is just one of dozens of shows that we'll be filming here pretty much every single day, including a lot of Peacock shows. There was a brand new one that's TV Minus One which filmed here with Seth MacFarlane.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, TED. It's a prequel series set in 1993. That means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using the exterior sets and facades that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, TED is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
I'll tell you a little bit more about the show Ted later on in the tour, but they film inside the sound stages to our right. Currently, we're working on shows like Quantum Leap, Raymond Lee, and Killing It with Craig Robinson, also films over here. But the very last on the road, number 19, this is where Christopher Nolan filmed Oppenheimer, specifically the scenes which were in the Oval Office with Gary Oldman playing President Truman, and then Cillian Murphy coming in to talk to him as Oppenheimer. If you have not seen Oppenheimer, you got to check it out. It's nominated for 13 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It is available on Peacock right now, so it's pretty easy to see from home. And then maybe after you're done watching Oppenheimer, you can watch Ted, because Oppenheimer is extremely heavy. You gotta lighten up the mood afterwards. Ted's standing over there on the left, by the way. A very big Ted. He's about twice the size here than he is in the show. Ted is standing for some pretty interesting buildings too. These bungalows on the left used to be dressing rooms for Hollywood's biggest stars. And I'm talking people like Doris Day or Rock Hudson, Jimmy Stewart, Lucille Ball. That's because all actors up until around 1960, they would sign a contract with one studio at a time. So they were only making movies for and at Universal for 5 to 6 years. And when they were done filming, they would go back to their dressing rooms, which were practically apartments that they had on the lot. Today's stars, they don't sign a contract with just one studio at a time. They're working multiple movies, multiple studios all around the world, so their dressing rooms are trailers. They'll follow them wherever they go. These buildings are now office spaces for some of the top writers, directors, and production companies in the business. Companies like Illumination Entertainment, that's the animation house products, Despicable Me, Minions, Secret Weapon Pets, Super Mario Bros. Movie, Migration, a whole bunch of other stuff. Mark Platt has his office down there. He produces musicals. He's the one that produces Wicked on Broadway and the movie adaptation, which you saw the trailer come out during the Super Bowl. And the single most famous office, to the left-hand side, number 5195, once more to Sir Alfred Hitchcock. Directed movies like Psycho, Airport, he had that office for about 20 years, the latter part of his career. So there's a lot of history time this way in a building like that all over.
Lane.
And it's different kind of history happening right now, again, all over the place. We're building more and expanding more than we've ever seen. Just to put it in perspective, in the last 7 years, we built more sound stages on the property than we built in the 70 years before that combined. That's a lot. That also means we're making more than we've ever done. You're seeing some of the newer stages to our left. Those were built in 2016. While a lot has still been there over the years, it's currently used by a show called Lopez vs. Lopez, which is George Lopez and his daughter Maya. They have a sitcom on NBC. They're working on the 2nd season of right now. But y'all, that's it for the front lot part of the tour. We're going to spend the rest of it here in the back lot. This perfect stuff. A large exterior scenes for productions at extremely large scale. It does not get much larger, frankly, more famous than these Metropolitan sets. If it came on a good day, we get to drive through them. Usually these are closed off, and they have been for quite some time. You might recognize our Brownstone Street as Buffalo, New York, and Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey.
Place the dog!
That's where Bruce lived.
Yeah, get it?
But Brownstone Street was also featured as Old Chicago in The Sting with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. It was seen in Change of Habit with Elvis. It was also the same apartment used in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York with Macaulay Culkin. Remember when Kevin goes to his uncle's place in New York City, ends up on the roof, throws and breaks down? Yeah, it was all right there. So it's a great example. You can change whatever town it's supposed to be, and you can also change the time period pretty easily. If you want to make it the past, go for it. Maybe you want to go back to the future. Y'all, we're on the same exact road that the time travel war got up to 88, was struck by lightning and sent back to the future in 1985. Or 55, depending on how you're ready. Welcome to Courthouse Square, which was Hill Valley, and Back to the Future Part 1 and 2 with Michael J. Fox and Kirsten Lloyd. As we take the corner, take a look over the left, you'll see the City Hall, which was the clock tower, Back to the Future, although it does look pretty different. The 4 distinct columns of the clock tower are still there. They're on the other side of the brick that we see. I'll tell you why that is in just a moment. You also saw this a few years prior to that in Psycho 2, and about 21 years prior to that in To Kill a Mockingbird with Gregory Peck. So the courthouse in To Kill a Mockingbird is the clock tower, Back to the Future. It's the same building. The right scene of Bruce Almighty filmed here, clear as day in the background, is the clock tower with the clock ticking on. That's why it looks different now. No producer or director wants you to recognize Back to the Future in their movie. It was a television show called Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt that actually made the change. They filmed their first episode out here without changing the clock tower, and then they showed it to a test audience. And they immediately recognized the clock tower. So they decided, all right, if we're going to film our show out here and this is going to be Grandview, we have to change it. They didn't really tear it down, they added another wall. And there's people inside of it. That's just scary. Now that wall is a facade. Pretty much 90% of these buildings are just the fronts and the sides. You don't need the interior to most, so we're not going to build the interior to most. Some of these are what we call practical though. They do have a little bit of interior. They have the pharmacy here, the old fire station, ice cream shop, and I love this one. It was used by 2 separate productions and you only saw half of it, so one half of the store is Jacob's Appliance Service and the other is a yoga studio. That's a great example. You can come out here and change these buildings and whatever you may need for your production. But sometimes you need a little bit bigger of a town. Thankfully, we got New York City around the corner. It's a lot easier to come out here and pretend it's New York than actually film it. This actually found how difficult it is to film in New York City. That's where he does the Tonight Show.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. An old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? It's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
And thousands of movies and television shows have been made here over the last 80 plus years, including some of my personal favorite superheroes. Things like Captain America, the First Avenger, and Chris Evans, this is 1940s New York. Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire in this theater. On the left is where MJ on a Broadway debut. Across the street is where Doc Ock threw a car through a cafe window. There's even a frozen over Gotham City of Batman and Robin with George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that? That's where Arnold's playing the Dr. Freeze, has those horrible ice bugs all right there, everyone chill, freezes everyone. That's because you can change the buildings if you want. None of the brick and stone is made of brick or stone. It's plastic or fiberglass, so change it if you want. Or leave it the same like you do for American Ninja Warrior, because they just want to build a giant obstacle course and not on track. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit more about that big concrete jungle in just a bit. We're going to travel to a different jungle at the top of the hill called Skull Island. Here's director Peter Jackson to tell us a little bit more.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. My wife had become a believer. I like films that just take you away from your life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
And we are in for an adventure, y'all. Please remain seated, arms length inside the vehicle. Hold on tight to your belongings and no flash photography, all right? Feel free to take picture and video, just no flashing. The flash does not help your photos at all during the tour. What it does do is blind everyone around you, including Eric, our driver. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen. Welcome to the home of King Kong, Skull Island. Just don't lose it. Very expensive. That epic battle was produced by director Peter Jackson and filming the company of Alpha Red Digital and out of this one effects. The folks over at Red won 7 Academy Awards of the year for the work that was King Kong, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, James Cameron's Avatar, Avatar, the Wind Water, Visions of the Other Books of Water, between all that. They pretty much worked in every big movie the last 20 years. That doesn't mean that's something you've seen up on the big screen. Not only have you seen their work, now you can say private digital. Yeah, they kind of put themselves in the tram car. Not only that, there's a few children in the front row. Those are Peter Jackson's kids. He likes to put in his movies, maybe a little cameo on train. But as soon as we saw a train come on screen, it became what we call a picture car, which is what we call every vehicle you see in a movie or television show. And I mean every vehicle. It could be a car, scooter, tram, train, airplane, it's all called picture car. We put those out in the Metropolitan set to make it seem a little bit more realistic, right? Because right now they're kind of white canvases. You put decoration or things out there, it's going to seem much more realistic. You can also change the time period and location depending on what kind of picture car we use. If you want it to be the 80s, put a bunch of 80s cars out there. If you want it to be London, a red double-decker bus drives by, you know it's London. New York City, yellow taxi cabs. Los Angeles, Teslas. Put a bunch of Teslas out there, you know you're in LA. But sometimes we build a creative vehicle for a movie and it becomes super famous and recognizable. And over the years, not only we use a lot, we've collected a few so you can see them today. Take a look over to the left. We'll start with the yellow juice scoop from American Graffiti. Magna P Ice Ferrari is a Volkswagen, built to look like a Ferrari. It's one of the sub cars they use. My personal favorites with flying cars, Back to the Future Part 2. It's when they go to the very futuristic year of 2015. You go way in the past to the Flintstones with John Goodman and Rick Moranis. You fly around with Harry and Ron, adventure car from Harry Potter. Warner Brothers gets that one. Couple from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise, including the Gyrosphere. You saw the two boys rolling around in. It's not missing the glass. It was all done digitally. That way you don't see the reflections of the camera. Jordan Peele gave us a few from his movie, Surprise Man from his movie Nope, and the Crawdaddy from his movie Us. And Michael Bay gave us a few of the Transformers, including the Bradley Assault vehicle. That thing is lean, mean, and made of wood. Yeah, it's mostly wood. The military will give vehicles for movies, but they just kind of have to sit there and look pretty. But Michael Bay doesn't want that. He wants it to sit there and look pretty and then explode. So you got to make it out of something that you can get to from set easily and explode over and over again. A real explosion in a movie is a type of practical effect. Practical means we did it for real in front of the camera. It's not a digital effect, it's practical. It could be a flame, an explosion. My personal favorite practical effects are animatronics. And my favorite movie used one of the largest animatronics ever.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the T-Rex in Jurassic Park was a 30-foot tall animatronic that when it got wet in the rain scenes would start to move on its own, which sounds terrifying. All three of the original Jurassic Park movies had amazing animatronics and special effects, but they also gave us amazing set pieces of picture cards, which is what we're looking at right now. Boat on the right-hand side is attacked by a Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, and this double RV-looking vehicle on the left is the Mobile Lab. You saw the Lost World Jurassic Park for Jeff Goldblum, Julian Moore, and Spawn. That's also made mostly out of wood. Not because Steven Spielberg wanted to make it explode, but because Steven Spielberg wanted to push it on the cliff, like he did for this scene. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, ring the bell. Oh, wow, they're going to have another one. Looks like everyone's attacked by a dinosaur. I'm so sorry. If you thought those were bad, you're going to hate the video. It's got to be one of the first three cars. Oh, no. Car 3, it's not looking good. Oh, no. I'll give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1. It doesn't do anything. You're fine. You'll panic a little bit. When we were making Jurassic Park, a lot of that movie filmed here inside of our talent stage. But even more of the film, the on-road game, that's outside the studio. A lot of Jurassic Park filmed in one. These were here in the park. Everything was shut down for about a week. Even though the scene is out right now, we were filming a nice quiet one, and then we turned into that great scene. Here in New Mexico, I want to show you how. Now, typically, you would not hear thunder on set. That was later on, but we're going to have it all in one. We have lightning, which is a big strobe light, and now for a rain, I'm going to activate that real quick. And just like that, we have a rainy day. We get our rain by using a super high-tech sophisticated system called sprinklers. As long as the sprinklers above the camera season looks fine. You'll notice gaps between our sprinklers. That's not on purpose. I didn't clap loud enough, so I want your help. On the count of 3, clap 2 times. You ready? You guys do it all at once. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Maybe not. I saw it activate. Where's all the water? Sorry, I'll almost be able to check the digital there. Now, it's not. Oh, there's the water. Okay, we're on water. What? motion, pretending as if it's the streets of Los Angeles. It happens every time it rains. This section of Old Mexico was featured as Mexico and Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black. This is also the pirate city of Tortuga. This inspired to the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl. A great example of how some of our favorite movies, no matter who's making it, will probably use the same set here at Universal, because we're a giant rental facility. Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, Paramount, you guys can make a movie out here. We'll just have a really expensive birthday party. Now, this section has been seen in more movies than any other movie set on Earth. We call it 6 Points, Texas, and these date back to the silent film era, where we were making hundreds of movies out here per year. But we still continue to use these. You might also recognize it from Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Anytime they're on the Western set in that movie, it was all right here. If you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you should check it out. Just remember it's Quentin Tarantino, so very rated R. Now, y'all, we're about halfway done with our tour at this point. Just a reminder, if you need my assistance, that red emergency cord is hanging above your head. If you give it a pull, I'll be back to help you. Otherwise, remain seated on the waist side of the vehicle. Now, most of the buildings that we have here in the back lot have nothing on the inside. They're either facades, like what we see last here on the left-hand side, or they're shells, meaning there's full walls with a roof and nothing on the inside of it. Every so often, you do have what we call a practical set. Practical means it has something built already inside of it. But any one of our buildings can have an interior in your room. You can probably build it separately inside of the sound system. That way you can control every aspect of it. As long as your actors wear the same costume as they walk through the streets as they do in the building, you can believe that it's still connected as long as you edit it together, the post-production part of your filmmaking process. Now, the sound scenes across the body of water there to the left are some of the newer ones we have here at Universal. While they're not the newest, they're definitely the busiest. That's where we do The Voice. The Voice is a hit vocal competition show on NBC. They are in between seasons right now, but they are non-stop always working. They finished season 24 last month, already coming out with season 25 here very soon. The newest sound seasons are even further on down the road. That's where shows like Hacks with Gene Smart and Luke and Maya Rudolph go. We're not going to drive all the way down to those stages. If we did, we'd actually be closer to Warner Brothers than the theme park. So how close our neighbors are, but also how massive Universal is. We're going to go down there. Eric's going to take our train up to Little Europe, and I adore Little Europe. These are also quite old, dating back to the silent film era. But our first Best Picture winning movie, all playing the Western Front in 1930, uses areas both Germany and France. The very next year, 1931, we invented the monster movie using the same script, the Dracula Frankenstein filmed here in 1931. But as we make our way to the road, I'm going to guess a few here are going to recognize this not as Europe, but as the good place in the good place. Let's have the inside person bill.
You, Eleanor Shakespeare, are this location, the afterlife. I've never ever seen this.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now, before I talk about the good place, I want to give you a little insider knowledge. As a tour guide, for every tour, there are certain things I have to talk about and certain things that I choose to talk about. That's a cool thing about the studio tour. You come back, it's probably going to be a different experience, especially if you get a different guide, because we get to choose different things to add to our studio tours. But every single day, it's going to be a different route. It's one of the most repeatable attractions in any theme park anywhere. However, I'm not meant to share my opinions with you or mandated to share my opinions with you. So that's a choice that I make. And it's my opinion, not the company's, all right? I am mandated to not share my negative opinions, so I gotta trust that you won't get me fired. Can I trust you? No, but I'm gonna give you an honest opinion. The Good Place is one of the greatest shows ever made. It is so good. It was created by Michael Schur. Michael Schur also created Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He was a writer-producer of The Office. If you like that kind of humor, you gotta watch The Good Place, but don't watch a random episode. Okay? It's not a random episode kind of show. You gotta start from the beginning and work your way through. Because each episode connects to the next one, each season connects to the next one, and it ends at season 4. It also wasn't canceled, it was finished. It was the top-rated show when it ended, so you know it's a good show. It'll make you laugh, cry, and everything in between. It's so good. It's available everywhere, including Peacock. They don't care where you watch. You should watch it. I'm only mentioning this because it's one of my favorite shows. I really enjoyed watching it, and I hope you did too. So, there you go. Now, Eric's driving us down a pretty unique road. It's called Denver Street. It's one of the original roads at Universal. Also has some of the original sets still here from the old Western days in the silent film era. This is also kind of where the studio tour began, at least the concept of it, because during the silent film era, we were open to the public. You could buy a ticket to Universal, and as long as you stayed behind the camera, you could watch movies as they were being made. Unfortunately, that ended once sound was added to video. Until July 15, 1964, we debuted the studio tour. Yeah, this is our 60th anniversary this summer, big diamond anniversary. My favorite attraction to the studio tour was added in 1976, and it's still here. It's what we're having right now. Welcome to Amity Island, Jaws. Now you might remember, he's pretty well known for his little boating and fishing community and his lake shark problem over the years. My buddy George, he said that he's going to open up the beach for us. He said, don't worry about the sharks hanging up. Well, I'm going to worry about the one in the water. Okay, I see the tree. All right, George has got to know about that. Oh, there's a little water. George? George? You okay? He's fine. Yeah, he's good.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's dead. He's pretty good. Okay, we're gonna go forward. And we're just gonna hang out next to these gasoline barrels. That's what it says to do the safety man over there. Don't worry about that. We do have the attached to the dock there. I think it's the shark. Oh, is it? No, hold on. It's a clear thing. Oh, that's not it. Hey, don't touch the gasoline. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Might as well make the most of it. Put our fingers up a little bit. Never mind, we have to go. Congratulations, everybody. Where's the shark? Hey, I'm gonna hang up the window. Don't tell my boss. Hi. Hey, I got a question for you all. I don't care if you're in my car or the other three. It's a silent tramp. You yell at me when I hear you. What kind of shark is that? What is that?
Great white.
That's plastic. That's a plastic shark. It's a plastic gray white. Our plastic gray white shark works a lot better one than Steven Spielberg's shark. Here he is talking about it.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you hear the residents. They were always saying, the shark is not working for me. The shark is not working.
Just wave it around. Just wave it.
The shark worked well enough for a while there. So I did own the shark a lot.
We named our shark Bruce after his father. The original shark used their jaws. You can see here, he gets 28 adults in the Spielberg. Steven's number named his shark Bruce after his lawyer at the time, Maurice Raymer, is actually still employed to this day. It's the best of my knowledge, there's one more great white shark that's a named Bruce. If you've ever seen Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo, you're going to want that one official friend stop through his name Bruce after our shark here. We'll just kept up with the tradition. Steven's number filmed the majority of Jaws on location in the Atlantic Ocean and the surrounding neighborhoods of Martha's Vineyard. Filming the ocean is near impossible. That's why it almost never happens anymore. Filming in a real neighborhood is not impossible, it's just very expensive. So if you're going to be staying for a long time and using a bunch of houses, you're probably going to film here in the back lot where you have dozens of houses that nobody lives in, so you can do whatever you want as long as you want. Pretty famous house to our right is the Chicken Ranch from the best little house in Texas with Dolly Parton. Notice it's a full interior house, a practical set, as we call it, unlike their neighbor, which is just a facade. Because you're only ever going to build what you see. You don't go to the neighbor's house, you don't need to build it. Well, imagine the entire thing. One of the street residences we need to drive down today. It's called Colonial Street. You might recognize it by being for names. This one's the bird instead of birds. We're talking some very pictures. It's for Whipstaff Manor, was it Password, sorry, Christina Ricci. It was Nellyville, Nelly and Kelly Rowland in the Delivery video. It's mostly recognized now as Wisteria Lake from ABC's Desperate Housewives. Practically every single episode of the show utilized Colonial Street. Even though it's made by a different company, Universal gave them exclusive control. They do whatever they want. My favorite behind-the-scenes story of Desperate Housewives is that Mrs. McCluskey's house, the one with the red door there on the right-hand side, had so many termites during the middle of season 4 that they had to tear the house down because it was considered unsafe. So the writers decided, well, we got to find an excuse of why that house is no longer there. So in the middle of season 4, there's a big storm which comes to Wisteria Lane. While most of the houses have damage, Mrs. McCluskey's house is completely destroyed. Excuse into the show, something that actually happened in real life. Same exact thing happened to the show Super Storm, America Ferrera on NBC. Big tornado in the middle of the store end of season 1. In real life, we tore down their sound teams from Super Nintendo World, so they kind of found an excuse for that. If you watch the Super Bowl, you might recognize this area. This is where Beyonce had her lemonade stand for her Super Bowl commercial. The yellow house on the right, that's where Davey lived all 4 seasons of Never Have I Ever on Netflix. The Munsters were next to them in the purple house in the corner. Across the street from them, the light blue house. The Cleavers, Wayne the Beaver, and a little bit different lanes where Johnny lives in the new show Ted.
Let the festivities begin.
How many we got?
Well,
let's see, we got 20 kindness.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Oh, come on, Johnny, we're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
You know, I'm going to say this. I thought Ted was hilarious, but I'm also a major fan of Seth MacFarlane, whether it's cartoons or the Orville. I love the Orville. If you know the Orville, you're going to recognize watching your actors come back for Ted. Here's the thing, it is for mature audiences. Okay, like Seth MacFarlane said in the first video. For example, that short scene that we just saw with Ted and Johnny up in the bedroom has about 10 different edits in it just to make it safe enough to show you. It is a very, very mature but very hilarious television show. You should check it out. Now notice, the further away you get from Johnny's house, the more it starts to look like we're in the middle of nowhere. That's what this is used for. We call this Wilderness Road. And rather than go to the forest, you go to Universal. You know your favorite crime shows when they find dead bodies in the woods? No, they're finding some guy holding his breath lying on the side of this road. CSI, NCIS, Criminal Minds, they were out here all the time. Netflix also did one of the original movies out here called Bird Box with Sandra Bullock a few years back. That's that monster movie you can't look at it so everyone's blindfolded. She tries to get the two kids out of the city by going miles and miles into the forest. Yeah, she's 3 feet away from the road the entire time. They just don't show the camera around because they did. You can see Hogwarts Castle and it kind of changes the movie. Very hard to explain that at some point. Now, we have about 10 to 15 minutes left of our tour. Once again, just a reminder, to be my assistant, Red Emergency Coordinator, but there's a lot of changes happening, especially in this part of the studio. A lot of construction happening. We're kind of repaving all of the roads, and all the facades are gone for the War of the World set. We're going to be refurbing these here very shortly, but also gives you a chance. You can actually still see the set, even though we're now driving through it. That is from War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg. That's a real 747 that was completely destroyed for this set, that you see in the movie for less than 5 minutes. Yeah, but a lot of work can go into a little bit, but it sets up the tone for the rest of the film. It's genius filmmaking on Steven Spielberg's part. And then he donated that set to us here at the Tram Tour. Why it's still here and why they're refurbing it even now. Another Academy Award-winning filmmaker made a recent donation to the studio tour, and it's where we're pulling into. We get to drive through the actual set used in the movie Nope, written, directed, and produced by this gentleman, Oscar-winning Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, see the brand new Starlight Experience. To showcase an unbelievable new live show. So live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood craze, gold rush runs next to lies a sinister secret. Smack dab in the center of Roxbury. What's a bad your uncle? Oh. Welcome to the world. Okay,
Sorry, we're losing power. Just remain seated and remember. You gotta watch it, it's so good. It's a gripping science fiction thriller horror from Jordan Peele. It is so good. If you haven't seen any of Jordan Peele's movies, he's done 3 with Universal. Get Out, Us, and Nope. Each is original, unique, different kind movie. They're scary in their own right, and they're not connected, so you can watch them anywhere. It's very cool. Speaking of scary, they don't want me to tell you what's going on because they're afraid I'm going to cause a panic, but I want to tell you. Do you promise not to panic on me? A lot of confidence in that answer. I'm going to take your word for it, though. We're being chased by somebody. But it's okay, it's okay. A few minutes ago, I received a message from an Agent Hobbs in the Fast and Furious crew. He let me know there's some witness aboard our train being chased down by the bad guy named Owen Shaw. And the Fast and Furious crew, they know this bad guy, and they're going to keep us safe. We just have to hide out in here for a little bit, so please remain seated. Arms and legs in the vehicle, hold on tight to your belongings, and don't panic, because if you panic, I start to panic, I'll cry. I kind of lose it. Since there's going to be
y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay.
Alrighty, well, you know, you guys take this real serious. So like you said, the camera flashes somewhere right until taking this bag up and give us away. It sounds like there's a party going on, so there's plenty of room, alright? Plenty. Or just try your best.
Everybody out! The FBI! Turn that music off!
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party, and the what other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours.
Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up. I need to go.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Parking garage now, so the bad guy shows up, we gotta put the pedal metal and get out of here.
Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. Welcome to join our crew and it's
All right, one of the coolest. That is Fast and Furious Supercharged, the grand finale to our studio tour. And to get you all back to the theme park here momentarily. So thank you so much for coming out to the tour this morning. Gorgeous view off to the right-hand side before the rain comes in. You can see the big three Universal Studios off the hill. You have Warner Brothers with their big base soundstage, and then hidden beyond them to the right is Disney Studios. So more movies are made in that one view than any other spot on Earth. But we just think the tour of the year is biggest, busiest, and best. How biased at all. Special thanks to our annual pass holders on board. It's always nice to see familiar faces here in the train. If you'd like to become an annual pass holder, it's very easy. Take your ticket up to the Universal box office, push that tower next to Starbucks in the center of the park. They show you how to change your ticket to an annual pass. Also, if you haven't already, I encourage you to download the official Universal Studios Hollywood app. It helps out quite a bit. Confirms that we're open tonight till 10 p.m. Gives you all the showtime to Waterworld, wait time to the rides and attractions, and all the needed information to visit Super Nintendo World is on there as well. If you have any questions or want to say hello, I will be available once we get off the tram. Once again, my name is Tim. Just look for the goon looking out the mustache wave dasher. That's me. I love the channel. On behalf of driver Eric, myself, and everyone here at NBC Universal, thank you so much for coming to Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of Beltway. Now, hopefully during the tour you learned something, have an appreciation for all the hard work that happens behind the scenes, but more than that, hopefully you had fun and had a good time. I definitely did. I'm going to tell you the thousands upon thousands of studio tours that I've done over the years, this one right now, do all is by far the most recent.